Hello and welcome back. Today we've got something completely different. So these are the world's smallest construction vehicles, allegedly. They're made from our friends at BRRRRT, and we've got a forklift truck. There's not a lot with the boxes. I do have to admit, I have opened them because, as you can see as we go through the boxes, they were a little bit damaged when they arrived. So this is the dumper truck. What do they call it? They do call it a dump truck. And then we've got simulated excavator or a digger. So there's not a lot on the boxes. Let's see. Can get it open. I open it from the right end that I cut it from originally. I'm light with unboxing. So really nicely packed. And that's with the box being damaged. That has helped. So you get a lot of little instructions and what the controls do. These cost me, I'd best go into cost really, hadn't I? These cost me, for the set, I bought them from BRRRRT, or whatever they're called, direct. And the set was £40, I think, with the bit of postage. I'll put the dollar rate in the corner. So about £13 each. There's the digger. Again, we get our little instruction book. So fully proportional, apparently. There's what the controller does. Now the only one that's slightly different, and slightly different when you look at them online, is the forklift. It doesn't look 100% like pictures. But this is, because this has got a different type, oh no, it's not got a different type of controller, but it did have a different type of controller. So there's the forklift. You have to do a little bit of assembly. So there's the digger. There's a lot of metal on these, so this bit's metal. There's a lot of die cast little bits and bobs on them. There's the digger, the dump truck. And then we've got the digger itself. So this bit isn't remote control, the rotation, but all the rest is. So these are going to be a little bit tricky to film because they are so small. Get a controller out. So it's got left and right, as you'd normally expect, forward and backwards. And then we've got trim left and right. So it's got trim on it, and you've got two knuckle buttons. So for the digger, bucket pushing, bucket digging, left, right, 50% speed, and then forward and back, and then fine tuning on there. So on that one, that's for the digger. For the dump truck, the knuckle buttons are decline pump, decline dump box, incline pump box, left, right, forward, back, fine tuning left, right. So they're fully proportional, allegedly, these little tiny things. And then we've got the forklift. There is a bit of building on this, just so you know that this is all metal. So the body itself, so it's like a die cast. There's a lot of metal on these, quite heavy for what they are. And then this is the forklift. Now this is a little bit out of scale really, because you'd say that's, if these are all 1/64th, a forklift is never going to be that big against these big dump trucks. Now we've got a lot of building going on around us. There's a train line being built in the UK, and there's a lot of these things on the, like where you drive past where they're doing it, these things which are huge, and you're not going to get a forklift that big. So I think it's slightly out of scale, the forklift. I was hoping that came with a trailer, because it does show in the picture that you can carry the digger on the trailer, but it's got a pallet, it's got the forks which you hook on, and little hook crane thing. They've all got a USB cable in their little bags, and then they've all got a USB plug in the bottom. You just plug that in, and when it flashes, it's charging. When it goes solid, it's not, I think it's red and green actually. And then the controller for the forklift, a little bit less complicated, up and down. And this is not proportional in any way or form. This is just on and off on that. So we get the forks on the forklift, get them all charged up, get some batteries. I think they're AA in here. Get them all batteried up, and let's have a look what they do. So we've got dropped you a bit lower so you can see what's going on. So we've got first of all, we've got the forklift, which is like the massively out of scale. No, I can't see. So it lifts up and down. This is non-proportional, so it's not got any, so we can get the pallet. It's about my forklift driving skills actually. It's all the way down and go up. You can see there it's on or off basically on the steering and on and off on the power. There is a quick one, so if I come back with the pallet, I can go to 100% power. It's a bit too quick. I would think that's a little bit unscale for a forklift. Back down to 30. And lift the pallet up. And then we'll get him out of the way, because you want to concentrate really. I think that's the least impressive of the three. Then we've got the two construction vehicles. So you can see it's got proportional steering. So if I just bring that there, so we can get that both in shot. Now we've zoomed in. So it is proportional, only just, but it is proportional. And then if we push the top button, goes up. And if you keep hold of it, it comes down again. So you don't really need an up and a down. I get the controller out of the way and it steers. Oops, that's the wrong way, Stu. It's got its lights. And off he goes. And then we've got the digger. If we bring the digger over. So if you push left, it just does the tracks. Probably zoomed in a little bit too much. And you got backwards and forwards. But then this has got two functions. So if you push the one side, it pushes away. And then if you push the other way, it digs. So really, really cool. You know, for the size of them, and if I put my hand, like, I mean, it is proper 1/64 scale. Let's bring the truck back in. So technically you could dig something there, if there was something there, and go up to the truck, and then drop it into the truck. Now it does do that, and it does show that. It doesn't really, like, it's a little bit tricky to get it in the right position to unload itself. I think you have to be sort of there. No. It does show that in their videos that it's not quite high enough to unload itself without hanging up a little bit. I don't think a truck that size would move if it was in real life anyway. And then you can drive off in your truck. And then dump your truck. So perfect little tabletop cars, like tabletop RC. The forklift has stopped on the outside, but I think that's because I haven't actually charged that one properly. So we'll roll that one in. So that, for 40 quid, I think, which is about $50, isn't it? $52 maybe. Can't go wrong. Nice little Christmas present. You can let your imagination go wild. But really cool little things. Make a really good Christmas or birthday present. Not just for small ones, but for adults as well. You can have them on your desk at work and things like that. So I think we'll leave it there. We'll end up with, we'll finish off with a little bit of running and maybe get some digging going on. But as always, thanks for watching, and join us again very soon for some more small scale RC.